Saving a project with Agile, or how to become a corporate hero, or at least how to get some much-deserved, often elusive appreciation. Hi, my name is Jason, and this video is a true story of how I used Agile to turn a failing project into a success. A while back, I was approached to take over a project that had been continually plagued with problems. Confusion was everywhere, lack of scope clarity, poor scheduling, improper task definition, no clear vision. To sum it up, the project was a mess. Communication was at a standstill. It got to the point where everyone was playing the blame game. Small internal groups were formed and finger-pointing was rampant. The developers blamed the users, who blamed the testers, who blamed the analysts, and so on. While all the time the project sponsors were adamant that this project had to be completed. Results needed to be shown fast, not only to save the project, but to raise the morale and re-establish a productive group. I announced that we would be using the Agile process. I was apprehensive. Introducing an unfamiliar methodology could have created more confusion. However, after looking at my options, I felt that this would be the best course of action. I started with a presentation on Agile to the team. I had empowered everyone on the team to communicate with each other and to take responsibility for their part in the project. Everyone was equally important and everyone had an equal say. This brought the team around. They had a feeling of new purpose and self-entitlement. I had a three-point plan. First, understand the sponsor's needs and expectations. Second, look at what was done to date and what could be used going forward. This gave us a realistic baseline to measure the project progress and to move forward. Finally, a new iterative schedule was created, one based on features and functionality rather than a list of tasks. A quick side note, even with Agile, I have often seen the mistake where project managers or analysts start by creating a task list or a wish list from the sponsors. This can easily lead to scope creep, where a never-ending list of changes and additions are introduced throughout the project. Even in Agile, it is important to define the true needs of the sponsors. From there, build a list of functionality that should be included in the application. When new changes are requested, we can ask the question, is this necessary to complete the goal? Making it much easier to decline unnecessary changes. The old project plan had to be scrapped. I was apprehensive, as such actions can have a negative impact on morale. However, the point of frustrations with the current plan was so high that the opportunity to create a new plan with everyone's input was welcomed by the entire team. To ensure that everyone shared the same vision, I decided to use storyboarding. Images of what the screens should look like were drawn and posted on a wall, clearly showing what was going to be developed and the sequence the program will work in. This gave everyone a clear view of what we were trying to accomplish. We could walk the users through the sequence of events, and they were quickly able to point out to us what would work and what wouldn't. In some cases, we found that we had to reverse the screen order, allowing the information to flow better for those who would use it on a daily basis. In other cases, we found we were capturing too little or too much information. From there, we broke down the development tasks into individual features and functionality, whose progress could be tracked on a daily basis. Features directly found on a screen were numbered with a preceding screen number to show clear association. Sprints were organized in 2 to 3 week durations, and as we delivered features, we could let users know what to expect by pointing them back to the storyboard. This made for clear expectations and less going back and forth in trying to understand the deliverables. As part of our scope identification process, features were broken down into 4 categories: must, should, could, and won't. This allowed us to prioritize our work and ensure that only the required features were included in the deliverable. Although Agile focuses more on functionality rather than task time, we still needed some idea of duration and effort. We came up with a simple process and roughly estimated the time for each function as small, medium, or large. This helped with assignments and resource allocation. Channels of communications were opened up, and bottlenecks were removed. However, there was one stipulation. Any decisions, issues, or risks identified had to be logged in. This ensured that there wouldn't be any finger-pointing later on due to misinterpretation of ideas or simply because one person forgot what was said. Meetings were held on a daily basis along with longer weekly reviews. Status reports to the sponsors and managers were delivered regularly. Everyone had an equal say, but were limited to the amount of time they could deliver their message. Lengthier issues were logged and would be discussed at a later point, either one-on-one or with a more specific focus group. We had progress. An important part of the Agile message is that mistakes were okay. What was important is that any problems were found early and could be acted upon right away. This meant that no one got upset and no one played the blame game. The truth is that we were behind the original schedule, but the end user and the sponsor satisfaction was up. Instead of long meetings around a set of documents, they could see results. Even if not completed, we had tangible products to demos on a regular basis. Final delivery and implementation of the product was a smooth operation. As everyone participated in the process, there were no surprises, which led to an overwhelming acceptance by the users. In the end, everyone walked away with a sense of accomplishment. So thank you, Agile, and thank you for listening to my story.